Hello, everyone out there.
What's up, everybody?
Hope you're well. Welcome back to the Musicians Talk Show. This is going to be episode number 2. With you, as always, me, Dallas DeWhite.
And me, Matt Tolley.
Yep. Welcome back, everyone. The place where musicians discuss all things music. Still can't believe we got the name Musicians Talk Show.
Perfect.
I can't believe that was not taken.
Sounds
right?
like legit as hell.
Yeah, I know, right? Cool. So what's been going on, Matt?
Not much, man. Just doing the thing.
Doing the thing. Right before we hit record, Matt said, here we are again. Because we're here every week. Headphones on, mics up.
Ready to talk.
About music. All right, so we got some topics for you here. But first, how about Matt, you tell me a little bit about what influenced you to get into music, and then I will share the same.
All right. Well, I started out playing saxophone at first, so I was like starting to play that kind of music in bands.
Gross.
Yeah, I know.
Just kidding. Sax
no,
is
it's
awesome.
it's great. It's great. Alto sax.
That's the best one.
But I really like started wanting to play music for my own and do my own thing when I started playing guitar. So something obviously spoke to me on the guitar, and I think that a lot of that came from Guns N' Roses. I loved Slash's lines, guitar leads, and stuff like that. Really sing. I love stuff like that. So I started gearing myself towards that, found lots of other things, Van Halen, newer stuff. I like Winery Dogs, that kind of, good old feel, rock and roll. I love that.
So what happened for me was getting into Slash. This is a funny story. My dad sent me a picture the other day of me and my sister and family friends, 2 other kids.
Yeah.
On vacation in Montana in 2005. And the reason that's significant is because that's the vacation where my buddy's older sister first played Guns N' Roses for me. She played Welcome to the Jungle.
Right.
And like the intro was playing and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I like this. But then when that riff hits, it was over. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. So immediately went home and started playing guitar. And that's where it started for me. So I had one of those little first acts, and I was just talking about this with a student of mine the other day. It was awesome. Like, it was a good guitar. Like, it was fine. It sounded cool. It had a really cool shape. Yeah. I can't describe the shape. It was unlike any guitar I've ever seen.
Style? Not even.
It had like, you know how like most horns on the like bottom curl up. Mm-hmm. This one curled away from the guitar like a mockingbird almost.
Okay, Sinister Gates,
but it was shorter.
Has that kind of feel too. His on the top, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But it was very short. Like, it was a short little horn, like a SG. Yeah. But it was turned away.
Okay, cool.
It was pretty cool. And then the rest of it was basically a Les Paul looking thing,
right?
And much thinner. And I tried to break it. Me and Daniel Kyer, who was on the episode before this, we tried to break it one day. That thing was indestructible, dude.
Bolt-on neck?
It was. Yeah. So, I had other guitars at the time, and I was like, this thing's like $99. I'm going to try to break it. So on my bedroom floor, I just, reel it back and just slam it on the ground, and it just goes clunk, and then flops over. No change. No change at all.
Probably hurt your hands worse than the guitar.
It did. It was like, the vibrations of like a jackhammer going through your arms, like knocked me down, but the guitar was like, bring it. So rugged. There you go. Get your money's worth with the first act, people.
Oh, yeah.
So that is what made me want to start guitar. And then from there was turned on to like, it was Paul Gilbert was next. That was the next logical step. So that's what kind of got me out of.
Not for most people, just so you know. Maybe for you.
That's what got me out of like, I guess what I'd call like slow hand.
What band was Paul Gilbert? Were you listening? Were you
just Paul Gilbert solo stuff? It was right around the time his Silence Followed by Deafening Roar came out, which I think was 2008.
Okay, so no Mr. Big yet or anything.
I learned Mr. Big way later.
Okay.
I just heard Paul Gilbert and I was like, I didn't know you could do that with a guitar.
A lot of people.
I've only ever heard Slash.
Yeah.
Bendings, and Slash plays fast too, of course.
Sure.
But nobody plays like Paul Gilbert fast.
No, he plays with a drill if he has to.
Yeah, it's insane.
Just to keep up with his left hand, he has to play with a drill in his right hand.
Yeah, exactly. So hearing that stuff, I was like, well, I have to do this. So I started going into that. From there, it branched out into, Greg Howe and Tony McAlpine and Steve Vai and all those people that, aren't as famous as Slash, but are a technically different and more difficult challenge than
none less talented.
Eric Clapton.
Just Slash just has a unique persona that attracts a lot of people. I was
thinking about this earlier today, man. We were talking about in the car earlier. You weren't there.
I must not have been.
I don't know, because we weren't in a car together.
No, that's right. We were at the one. Okay.
But I don't remember. I'm already getting lost, and this is going to just tank. So I'm sorry for that.
Go for it.
But we were talking about, what were we just saying?
About Slash?
I already forgot.
Persona. His persona is so big that people actually know him, and he's just a guitar player.
Iconic leads. Right. It made me think of Neil Schon, who's a great guitar player. But I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but he's not as good as he was at the right place at the right time with his chops at that time, if that makes sense.
At his
peak. He was just good enough at the right time to be really famous and iconic and write all these great leads like Lights and Don't Stop Believing and all that stuff.
Oh, amazing
but
hits.
That doesn't make him the greatest guitar player of all time, if that makes sense. It just makes him good enough at the right time.
Yeah. I think when the layman music listener listens to Journey, I think the biggest thing that stands out is Steve Perry. And, the songs are amazing. Like the way they're written and the structure of them, the flow of, they're just amazing.
Outstanding. And a lot of that comes from the keyboard players, Greg Rowley first. And
it's not necessarily Neil Schon that they're hearing that's making it amazing. He's a big part of it. He's a big part of it.
Well, his songwriting, chops are in there all over the place, too. Right. You always know a Neil Schon song because there's a 45-bar guitar solo. Stone in Love, great example.
Sure.
So we had to, when we were in the Journey tribute, we had to, Logan and I, bass player for Matt and I's band, we had to sit down and write out the arrangements for all these songs. So Stone in Love, you had, verse 8, chorus 8, solo 4.
Never ends.
And then at the end, it was solo 64. Like, we had to sit there.
Oh, you're talking about bars.
And it was just like, you could always tell exactly how many bars are in each section. So you could tell exactly what songs Neil Schon was instrumental in working on. Right. No pun intended.
Well, he probably just could rip that stuff off like nobody's business.
Yeah, well, I mean Stone in Love.
Right.
And again, he's just an example. And I would use that for any guitar player. Slash, he was only as good as Jimmy he was Page. At that moment in, 86, 85 when they were writing and recording those songs.
Sure.
Which is weird because it's not really indicative of where he is now.
Yeah.
Like we don't really necessarily know where he's at now. We have his solo stuff, but I've noticed guitar players on albums hold back a lot.
Yeah.
So when you hear someone like Paul Gilbert that good on the album, he's better live. Like he does more, crazy stuff live, but it's insane.
Well, have you ever heard anybody say play to like your ability? So like a lot of people can do like some stuff that's really fast, but it's not necessarily like the cleanest thing they can do.
I disagree with that because then that's not your ability. You know what I mean?
But I think that pushing yourself, that's where the slop comes, right? So
Sure. But you do that in the practice room.
Sure.
And wherever you are perfectly is your ability.
Right.
So don't play.
Work to it.
Don't play beyond that. If you can play beyond your ability, that would just be your new ability.
Yeah.
That's my thinking, at least.
So what about outsider rock? What other kind of stuff do you listen to?
It's funny. You hear a lot of people say, I listen to everything,
Yeah.
I actually do listen to everything.
Yeah.
Like anyone can scroll through my Apple Music and just be like, what in the fuck is this? Like, it's so much stuff. I can't even just start naming random bands. I bet I have them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, good music is good music. There's good music and there's bad music. That's all there is. There's not.
I've always thought music is 12 notes. At least our music in the West is 12 notes. So
if you feel something when you're listening to something, it's good music. That's all there is.
You can spin that into rap. You can spin that into metal. You can spin it into whatever you want, but it's still the same 12 notes.
Yeah. I mean, point made basically by the fact that there's people who take songs and make them completely in different genres and they're still great. It's like,
Do you know the band Nevermore?
Yes, I've heard of them.
Jeff Loomis?
I'm not, yeah.
So they did
not super familiar, but I definitely know who Jeff Loomis is, and I definitely know the band is good.
They did a cover of Sound of Silence.
Okay, yeah.
That is basically a new song. It's just a new song, and they sing those lyrics over it. It's I love it. I think it's awesome. I love when bands do that. If you really like the song Sound of Silence, you'll probably hate that version because I've gotten that reaction when I showed it to people.
Sure. It's like the Cult when they did, what's the band? Oh, man, I'm having trouble.
I can't help you. I'm out of my depth with the Cult.
We'll edit this part out.
I know. I know. Firewoman.
Steppenwolf is the band they did the cover.
I like to dream down, but the Magic Carpet Ride.
Yeah, it's not that one. No,
or is it Born to Be Wild?
Born to Be Wild, that's the one. Yeah.
So the Cult did that.
Cult did that, and it's very different. Ian Astbury is a creative guy, and he likes to just do his own takes and stuff. I've seen him live several times, and it's never the same way. Like when he plays even his own songs, never the same way. I love it.
I love that, though. That's
I do too.
Speaking of Ian Astbury, one of my old singers says, this is not corroborated anyway, I don't know if this is true, but he has some sort of vocal condition that kind of makes it difficult for him to sing, or his voice cracks or something, and that's kind of how he gets his sound. But
I didn't know that.
I don't know if that's true, but I was told that. So when you brought the Cult up,
maybe.
Also the Cult / first album, right?
Yeah,
solo album. I mean, full circle. And then Matt Sorum, like, come on.
Slash knows good music.
Yeah. So I got the impression Matt Sorum wasn't in the cult that long, and he wasn't the original member, right?
Shoot, I do not know. I know that he was in the cult, and I know I thought he was an original member, but I might be wrong.
He was?
Yeah, I might be wrong on that. You know, who knows to say? Like, because you know about they used to have another name before they were the cult. They were something love cult or something death cult, something like that. There is a longer
my cult
name.
history is so bad,
right? So it was a longer name version. They eventually shortened it to the cult, and it could have been, who knows what the project had before that. So where you call the beginning of the project, I don't know. You know,
I have no idea.
Yeah. So but
I
know Matt.
Like
Sorum,
I said, my cult history is just
right.
I don't know.
I love Matt Sorum, and I knew him actually through Guns N' Roses before I knew the cult. So
you knew him through GNR first.
Yeah. So
same,
it's not like my.
I mean, I knew reading all the bios. Fun fact: I've read every single Guns N' Roses biography and most of the band members' autobiographies.
I've never checked, but I think I'm probably pretty close there with you.
So, you know, I knew Matt Sorum. Everyone in all the books said Matt Sorum from the cult, so I knew that. Right. I didn't know anything about who the cult was.
That's what made me feel like that he was an original member. So I'd like to look that up.
You think so?
Yeah.
Man, if only there was something that allowed us to like
the
look
internet.
up things that we didn't know and then speak on them with new knowledge.
Maybe in the future they'll come out with something.
Is that called learning? Anyway, while Matt looks that up for you on his brand new iPad, I'm going to talk about something different, which is Steven Adler recently. Okay, yeah, this is cool. He doesn't do much press, and I actually don't remember how recent, or he did for a while. He doesn't now that the reunion is happening, but I don't know how recently this was. But he made a joke where, and you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
He said someone was like, you know, talking about drum machines now. Like a lot of bands, you know, they'll just program drums like we do for demos all the time.
Sure.
But they'll do that for the full album. So he was saying, you know, the interviewer was basically like, what do you think of all these bands using fake drummers and stuff? And he said something to the effect of, yeah, it's either a machine or it's Matt Sorum, right?
So, Matt Sorum is the machine.
Apparently he didn't mean it in like a negative way, because I guess, you know, Matt Sorum is such a powerhouse drummer that he is a machine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You don't get more.
Wasn't a derogatory
you
statement.
You hear it in Velvet Revolver and all over Use Your Illusion. It's just so like bombastic,
power,
and, like, locked in.
It sounds like power, man. It sounds like rock and roll. I love
it.
I love
rock
it.
drummer.
Huge sound.
Absolutely. Anyway, that was my bit there. What do you have pulled up on the cult here?
All right, it looks like Slash saw him back in '89 with the Cult. So that's when Slash became aware of him.
So you got to go to the cult and then figure out.
Yeah, maybe that's the where I needed to go instead of, because they have the timeline, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. So while Matt redoes his very poor searching skills over here.
What other, you said you listen to everything. What other genres would you say like are influential to your style and sound?
Absolutely mostly rock, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, I do listen to everything, but mostly rock. I love pop. I love R&B.
So you like Lady Gaga then?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if you've heard her very, very first album before she was Lady Gaga.
I've heard a lot of it, actually.
I can't remember her original name, like what her real name is.
Yeah.
Oh God, what is it?
Can't remember right now either.
Damn, I don't remember.
It starts with an A, right? I swear it does.
Nope.
No?
I don't know.
Jay called me but no. No, I can't. I can only look up so many things
but
at once.
It's basically just her and a piano, and it's great. Oh, we're looking this up now, ladies and gents. It'll say it probably right there at the top.
Stefani,
that's right, or Stephanie. Either way,
Angelina's her middle name. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay, cool. What's the last?
You know how I know her middle name?
Germanota is her last name, or I guess that's how you'd say that. So, yeah, Lady Gaga, way easier to say.
Anyway, so here we go. The timeline for the Cult. Mainstream success. We want to go past that. We need
the band member line.
Here,
right?
here we go.
There it is.
Go.
Whoa, are those drummers the orange ones?
Probably.
Whoa.
Yep. So there you go. Matt Sorum was not the original.
Matt Sorum was like 8th on the list. If you see this, it's like a linear line of drummer. They've had like 15 drummers. They have like a drummer a year, it looks like.
Right. They got John Tempesta for the last while here.
Yeah. Between 84 and 94, they had like 12 drummers.
Yeah. No. So I guess Matt Sorum was just one of many.
It looks like he was
the best of many in my mind.
Is he that tiny little one, or is he the
He's this tiny little one right here in the middle.
Yeah, so he wasn't in it that long.
No,
that looks like he was in it for like half a tour, like
90 to 91.
And then the guy they have now has been there a long time.
He said, I just read something that said Slash saw him in '89, so that must have been when Matt Sorum first joined the Cult, because that looks like on this timeline where he's at, or sometime right in the middle of '89. So
if you listen to them, or the stories of them trying to find a drummer to replace Steven, But even more so, them trying to find a singer for.
So 89 was Sonic Temple and Ceremony. He might have been on Ceremony. Did he record on those? He might have been. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll figure that out later. But if you listen to the stories of them trying to find Matt for starters, but particularly the search for the singer for Velvet Revolver, it just seems like such a grind, dude. Yeah. Like, have you heard some of the people they auditioned?
Probably a long time ago, but remind me.
Bach.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Slash said it was good, but it sounded too much like Skid Roses.
Wow.
So he was like, I guess they couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't shake that.
But
yeah.
Another one was Josh Todd and Keith Nelson from Buck Cherry.
I'd love to hear what Josh Todd did. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Slash described it in his book.
And you say Vince Neil? Is that who you said? Who did you say?
No, Keith Nelson.
Keith Nelson.
He's the original lead guitar player for Buck Cherry.
Oh, right.
Those two kind of came as a pair.
Oh, gotcha.
This is before they had Dave. This
is
right
they didn't have Dave, right?
Right when Slash Stuff and Matt were jamming.
Gotcha.
So they brought them down. Slash said he was trying to be nice. Like, this is in his autobiography, but he basically said, like, Josh Todd has a cool thing, but he like doesn't sing on key as much as Slash would like. Right. He kind of has that like yell.
I've seen lots of live videos of him, and he does not hit all the notes. But you know what? He's got a lot of attitude.
It's kind of his thing.
Like, yeah, right.
On the record, like especially with Josh Todd and the Conflict, it's a little more like aggressive.
Yeah.
With some pitches, but then you hear like old Buck Cherry, like he's totally like on pitch.
He's an amazing musician.
It's just a lot of rasp in there. You know
what it takes to put that sound that he's putting out is not easy to replicate over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know,
and he can tap into that like almost just a straight yell.
Right.
Like, there's no real pitch. It's just kind of like yelling over the music. You know, which is cool. Yeah. Not to take away from that. Any others for you? Influences?
Yeah. Let's see. I got so it's aside from rock. I already laid all that down. The metal that I like is like Metallica.
Hold up. You have 40,000 unread emails.
No, they're read. I don't know why it shows them unread.
That's the most I've ever seen.
That's all my emails mixed up.
40,000.
I have 5 emails, and that's
you don't
all
have
of
5
them.
emails.
I swear I do. Let's see. I can't believe we're getting into this right now. So the iCloud email,
40,000.
Yahoo email. No, I mean email addresses.
Email 5 email addresses.
5 email addresses.
I'm saying you have 40,000 emails.
Correct. Sorry, that was not. Yeah,
that's too many emails, dude. You gotta clean that out at some point. That's gonna take you 4 days to clean out.
That's why I've got away from it. I think I stopped cleaning them out at like 10,000, and I was like, "No way!"
That's hilarious.
I'm just giving up.
My girlfriend had 2, and I thought that was a lot.
I could just turn the notifications off to shut you up.
You should, because it's on the iPad, right? So you see the little circle with the number in it, right? Except this is like a long rectangle that's like longer than the app.
It covers up the next app over. It covers it up with the notifications.
Exactly. Sorry, that's not music related. I just had to say that because it was ridiculous. Let's move on to something I was thinking about the other day. We talk a lot about musicians. We talk a lot about analog versus digital, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big talk, actually.
With the recording thing, sure. But I want to move over to the listening thing because there's 2 schools of thought. There's quality and convenience.
Right.
I
mean, we obviously know where the convenience comes into digital. I mean, and then you'll hear the argument that the quality comes in at analog, but you know, there's a big argument to be said for where digital's at these days because
well, the thing to me is
pretty incredible.
It's not an argument of which is higher quality. It's an argument over you have to factor in convenience and quality.
Right.
So if it's super convenient and I can listen to it on my phone as I'm walking to wherever I'm walking with my headphones, if it's that convenient, if it sounds 2% worse, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's really not that big a deal. You're not going to notice it.
I don't want to lug around, and I'm holding up what we'll talk about here in a minute.
Yeah.
Matt's Van Halen 1 vinyl here.
Yep.
That's almost as big as my 27-inch iMac. I don't want to haul around a collection of those.
Yeah.
If they sound 20% better.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. No.
Yeah. And those are like $40 a piece.
Yeah. Well, that one was used. I think I paid $3 for that one. It's probably from 1978. I bought it in Chicago at a record store.
Don't get me wrong. I understand my ignorance. And if you're over the age of 40, you're spitting your coffee out on the dashboard of your car right now, screaming at how these millennials are ruining the world. I get that. I just disagree with you.
I still got some convincing to do. I'll get you. I'll get
Side
you
note, because
vinyl.
This has been bugging me and I have to talk about it. People say there's no good rock right now, right?
I mean, nobody says that to me because I know I'll smack them. There's a few bands that I really like.
Okay, so people say that. And then they also say, like, Oh no! So they say like rock is dead. Like, when will rock come back? Rock needs to come back. Why don't we have a resurgence? Right. But then these are the same people that say there's no good bands right now.
Right.
So to me, it's like you have to go find the bands you like now, because you are the fan that will make the resurgence. You can't just sit there and say like, oh no one's Motley Crue anymore. Like, this sucks. Like, there's no bands anymore.
Right.
Why, and then like 2 sentences later, why doesn't rock make a comeback? Because you won't fucking go listen to it, dude.
Here's the truth behind that is the record companies had a lot more responsibility as far as getting music back out into the public back, 20, 30 years ago, and that's slowly declined. And now it's the fans' job to go get the music. It's not the record. I mean, the record company will do what it can, but there's so much music out there that everything is online. Everything is, YouTube. Like, it's crazy. I mean,
so instead of having, the genre of
you
rock,
have to sift through
rock
what you
now
want,
branches into 50 subgenres.
Yeah, that's totally different.
Yeah, exactly. So we see, the argument I've heard is there will never be another Guns N' Roses. No, there won't.
Right.
You can't have that. There's too many subgroups. There will no longer be a Rolling Stones.
Right.
There will no longer be an Iron Maiden.
How about the fact that just the pure age of a band changes the name of its genre? Like, Guns N' Roses was not classic rock when they were around, right?
They were considered.
So how does that work with the genre name change?
They're not even that old. I mean, considering like some of the other bands.
87 was when they started.
I call classic rock like 60s, like Steve Miller Band and shit.
Right, right.
Were they 60s, right?
But I mean, eventually everything gets old. So is Lady Gaga gonna be
classic
pop? Like, what's going on here?
That's
how are we naming?
I guess
our
Michael
genres?
Jackson will be classic pop, right?
Right,
80s.
right. Maybe. Vintage pop, maybe we'll just throw another name in there just to make it different.
There's too many, subgenres. There's too many bands.
Influences get mixed and then become
and a big part of this is the rise of the consumer studio, which we're sitting behind right now. I can now sit down and make a project. I can make 10 projects,
anybody
all
can
with
be
different
on
names,
iTunes.
and release them all, and they can all have different fans.
Sure, anybody can be.
I'm just one dude. Like, anyone can do that.
Yep.
So we now have these. I mean, just there's so much, and you have to go find it.
Yeah, that's it.
And if it's hard to find, you're not going to be found.
Yeah, it's all about sifting. I mean, like apps like SoundCloud are pretty popular. Everybody's, listening to.
SoundCloud's run into some trouble.
Posting,
actually.
Are they?
Yeah, I think they're in some financial trouble.
I did not hear that.
I've read some articles. They're on the brink of completely shutting down.
Wow.
So we'll see.
Interesting. So, but like those are apps that allow you to basically listen to music directly from the artist. Like, they post their music on there, whether it's high quality or not. There's no gate, there's no gatekeeper. Nobody's telling them they can't.
No filter.
Literally, when you're listening to that stuff, you can listen to somebody who's on their first day today on their keyboard, and they wrote this song and they want everybody to hear it. So they posted it to SoundCloud. And guess what? You have to listen to that for at least, how long does it take to listen to a song before you realize it's bad?
Yeah, not very long.
Sometimes.
I mean, luckily we get like Instagram videos and stuff that might kind of wean that out.
Right. And definitely following like artists you like, they'll keep you informed on, what they have coming out. Like, you have to do it.
But as a rock fan, you have to do more. You have to go find these artists because they're out there.
Yeah.
You have a band, Nothing But Thieves.
Yeah.
You have a band that Alice Cooper likes called The Stripes from Ireland, Scotland.
I know them. Yep.
You have Greta Van Fleet's blowing up.
Yeah, they're awesome.
You have Crowbot.
Yeah,
these are all really, really good rock bands that are not old. They're not in their 50s, right? They're all young dudes that are making music that you would like, but you don't go find them because you keep going back and listening to Appetite for Destruction.
So all you listeners out there, if you heard any of those band names that you've never heard before or listened to, go out there and find it.
Go and listen to them.
Because if you tell me that any of those bands suck or are not putting out good music, I'm going to slap you in the face.
And that's what we're trying to do with the LA Maybe. We're trying to be one of those bands that helps usher in rock music. But you as a fan have to go find these bands and listen to them and support them and go to their shows and buy their shirts and stuff, because that's what's going to make rock come back, is the fans all of a sudden being like, these are the bands we like.
Don't think that listening to Spotify is supporting your artist, because I hate to tell you this, they're not making very much money on that at all.
Spotify's the worst one. Yep.
Cents. They're making cents on thousands of plays.
Yep. And we can talk about
go to a show, see the band you want to see.
Make money as a musician in a later episode maybe, because that's a whole topic. But I wanted to bring up you're how old?
28.
And I'm 25.
Yep.
So when we are in our, let's say 40s, probably all the music we like by those musicians, they'll all be dead.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you can see it like when Prince dies, like when stuff like that happens, you really start thinking about like, shit, that's it.
We won't be able to see Metallica.
Right.
We won't be able to see Guns N' Roses.
Right.
We won't be able to see any of those people
it's
that
amazing.
shaped our musical existence. So what is that world going to be like?
Yeah, and it's
the
amazing.
only bands alive will be different bands. That's weird.
Yeah, we got lucky that they put Guns N' Roses back together because I always wrote them off as a band I'll never get to see reformed, but here they are today doing it. So
yeah, good stuff. We were at that same show.
Yeah.
Matt and I have a funny thing where we always go to the same shows and we never know the other ones there.
Yeah, we didn't know each other for a while, so we've been talking and then started finding out that we were all same
I was
shows.
like, I saw the Winery Dogs at Amos's in Charlotte, and he was like, dude, I was there.
Yeah, we were one bathroom trip away from meeting. Like all we had to do was be at this.
We actually may have seen each other.
Probably. Who knows?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Cool. Analog versus digital, it kind of comes back to old versus new, right?
Yeah, I mean, and then you get a lot of people who are just stuck in their ways and just don't want to admit that.
That to me is the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah,
I mean, you got the old guy that just throws up his hands and goes, "This doesn't sound. Music isn't the same nowadays." It's like, dude,
you better give me a reason why.
You better give me 10 reasons why, because you're completely wrong.
Right.
Because it's not like these new musicians hate all that old music. Like, what do you think they're inspired to play music from? Like, they are doing they're moving forward.
Sure.
You're stuck in the past.
Sure, and they're using this new technology too. All the new artists are coming up and they're utilizing the new technology in ways that old musicians didn't have to even think about. Now there's a whole new platform to work from, and technology is definitely pushing things forward. And you can either get behind it or you can stay stuck and not listen to anything you like or whatever. Listen to the same records.
But if you choose to throw up your hands and say music isn't the same as it used to be, good. For one, I hope it improves. I hope it always gets better, like anything.
Right.
But then you don't have any right to then say, why is there no good rock music?
Right.
Because you're the problem.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can't do both. You got to pick one or, help with the problem if you really think it's a problem.
Right.
Let's move on to something guitar related that's pretty big. Okay. I'm an avid fan of the Kemper, which is a guitar modeling thing similar to you have the Axe-Fx, you have the Kemper, you have the Line 6 Helix is supposed to be really good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about
the
that.
The 11 rack, I've played with that before.
Seen that a lot.
It's cool because it's orange. Yeah. It sounds fine.
It's bright, looks cool.
It's not on the playing field as the other three for sure. I love the Kemper. I've had the Axe-Fx. I like the Kemper better. But let's talk about that versus tube amps, which if you're not a guitar player, this may be a little boring. If you are a guitar player, this is the argument of the century here.
Yeah. Tube
amps versus digital modeling.
Yeah. I personally have a few tube amps. I have a Mesa Roadster, and it's it's a 4-channel, 100-watt tube head. And then I got the Marshall JVM 410, same thing, 4 channels, all tube. I have a 1977 Fender Twin Reverb. That's amazing, all tube. And, we've recorded and profiled some of those amps.
With the Kemper,
With the Kemper, and doing an A to B test. Like Dallas tested me. I had the headphones on, listening real close and trying to tell the difference between my actual amp versus the profiled amp. And I was wrong several times.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult to tell.
And I hate to say it, but
which is cool because you come from like the tube world, right? I come from digital world. I've the only tube amp I've ever owned was I had a Mesa Dual Rec for a while, and it was fine.
Yeah, but
it was just I couldn't. I couldn't play anywhere. I had an EVH 5153, and that thing was the shit. I love that amp.
Amazing.
That is one of the few amps I've plugged into and turned on, and I was like, this sounds like what I want to sound like.
Yeah, that's an amazing amp.
Because you get a dual rec, and it's like it's fine, but it doesn't sound the way I want to sound. I want to have a nice liquidy kind of flowing, smooth sound, and this thing is just crunch all day.
And it just depends on it just depends on what you're doing. I mean, the dual rec is I'm pretty sure Sublime, Bradley Noel used a dual rec on Sublime. So think about that. He's doing reggae style.
My favorite channel was the clean channel.
Yeah,
turned up really loud.
There you go.
It kind of was like an AC/DC sound.
Right. So there you go.
And the louder I got, the more crunchy it got. So the 2 and 3 channels were a little too much. It got a little crispy.
Sure.
But the bottom one was fine. And the EVH 5153, which is made by Fender instead of PV, that is a dream amp.
Yeah, amazing. I think that's got a gate. I might be wrong. I think that's got a nice noise gate, which helps a lot too, because those the dual recs don't have a noise gate, and my Roadsters.
2014, I had that amp.
Okay.
And I toured with the Alice in Chains tribute with it.
Okay.
And
was it brand new then? Was that?
I got it in 2014.
Yeah.
It was recent. It had recently come out. It was brand new to me.
Satchel from Steel Panther uses them.
Yes, and his tone is
amazing,
ridiculous.
Amazing.
That was one of the selling points for me.
Absolutely.
And all the other people that use it.
Yeah.
So have you heard the story of how Van Halen tested it?
Yeah, he leans his guitar against it and lets it feed back for a week straight or something like that, and then comes back, and if it's still making noise, it wins or something like that.
The story I read is he went in, he turned everything on all the way, and he just turned it on, and then he left, and he came back like a month or two later.
A month later, okay.
And he didn't have any noise playing. It was just on, jacked all the way.
I thought it was feedback or
I don't
something
remember,
like that.
but that would be a lot.
That would blow the speakers, you think, right?
Yeah.
Like eventually.
Something.
I don't know. Okay.
But anyway, he came back after a month or two, and he was like, "This is good."
Yeah.
That seems like one of those fables, like you got to do more than that. Like,
you're Eddie
you want to
Van
hear how the
Halen.
amp sounds? Like, sure, it stays on for a while.
He
What
had
was
to
that?
play
Like,
it. He played it.
Exactly. So it seems like one of those stories, and I'm sure it was a factor, but
yeah, I saw that interview too. I can't remember if I read it or if I saw it in a video or something, but yeah, I remember that.
Right.
It's interesting.
That amp, incredible. But I have a bunch of 5153 profiles. It's one of the most popular profiles on the Kemper.
Yeah,
And they all sound incredible.
Well, come on, man.
So
the
now
guy is the tone genius.
I can have that amp, right, with those 3 channels.
Yeah.
That's some sonic range.
And-
Or the thing weighs like 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
two beds are heavy because
Yeah.
there's transformers and stuff. The Kemper weighs, excuse me, the Kemper weighs what? 10 pounds?
I don't know. I've never actually lifted your
5,
Kemper.
10 pounds. It's not very heavy at all. And I can store, I think it holds over 1,000, and I think I have like 700 amps
Unlimited.
in there.
Like there's
Amps in there.
Yeah.
I have profiles of Dumbles, which are over $100,000 each.
right.
If you can find one, there's only like 30 of them.
Oh,
right?
really?
There's a very small amount.
I don't know about those. Okay.
Two Rocks, like $5,000 boutique amps.
I saw a dude play at a Two Rock
in
in Nashville, man. Just amazing. I literally was walking down the street and I heard this guy in the bar, and I was like, that is an amazing guitar tone. And I walked in to that bar and sat down and watched him for about a half an hour, but just because his amp sounded amazing. And he was playing a Les Paul. It was like, it was a nice...
See, John Mayer does the Strat through the Two Rock, so you get that really nice blues
Nice,
spank,
nice.
like great amps. So I have a bunch of those.
Yeah.
I have, I've never even seen these amps in real life, and I have these profiles.
It's amazing, and you get to compare everything like at the twist of a knob. Like,
and I'm not an expert on Two Rock, but this profile was made by people that are.
Yeah.
And those are the people that say I can't tell the difference. So I don't know, but I'm inclined to believe them. And the amps that I do know that I've tested myself, I can't tell the difference. Sure. If I can't tell the difference, if a very experienced ear can tell the difference, that's fine. Most people aren't.
How about just think about this? You don't own tube amps, but when I came in and we profiled my tube amp, like I know that tube amp. I play it all the time.
Right.
Like that's my amp. Like I play it at home. I play it when we play shows. I play.
Sure.
I feel like that's my
all of its
home. I know
different
everything.
things, yeah.
I know all the little what the EQs do. Everything what it all. And then when we plugged it into the Kemper and you A/B'd it for me, and I couldn't tell the difference. That shocked me. I was like I know what that amp sounds like, and this thing did a damn good job replicating it.
So it comes back to the analog digital argument. It comes back to the convenience versus the quality.
Yeah. I'd really like to do a full volume test, but
I would love to.
That's the only thing that I haven't really fully pulled off yet. But the tube at its peak volume, at its sweet spot, so they call it. You know what I mean? That
Another
is
use for the rehearsal space.
exactly.
Profiling amps.
It's usually about 3/4 of the way up. That's when they just run where they're supposed to run. So
we tested my EVH 5153. We had my bassist run to the mailbox, which at the house we were living in at the time was like a pretty long ways away.
yeah.
And we had it pretty cranked. I mean, we all had
Inside the house,
some
closed
ear stuff.
doors.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was just like, dude, it's too loud. And he was down at 50 yards.
2 or 4
away.
by 12?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was running it the 5153 through a 5152 cab.
Okay.
So,
well, whatever. I don't know
it
what was in the
fun.
5152.
I still have that cab somewhere.
What was in it? What speakers?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't get too micro with my tone.
It makes a big difference.
I never have.
I'd love to do that one day. A/B some speakers.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. To me, like I'll plug in, and if I like the way it sounds, I'm fine. I'm not going to go dig around and question too many things.
Sure. And when you have nice equipment like the Kemper, everything comes out is going to be nice. I mean, it's just
It's great.
Good
And not even mentioning the fact that you can just go direct to the board in stereo.
right.
You're not dealing with microphones. You're not dealing with air in the room. You're not dealing with, different cables and different things. You're just dealing with direct studio quality tones.
All
to
your
the board.
effects are built into it.
It's the same every night.
Yeah.
You can tap your delays. Everything's right
The
there.
convenience factor is so high.
This is a Kemper sales show, by the way.
So we are not in any way affiliated with Kemper,
But
we like them.
Absolutely should be.
We like them.
So if Kemper ever wants to throw me some affiliate commissions, I probably sold them a bunch. So that about does it for our discussion segment. You know what time it is, right, Matt?
I don't know what time is it, Dallas.
Music news.
That's right. It's music news time.
All right.
Sad news, unfortunately.
All right.
Pat Torpey, drummer for Mr. Big, passed away.
Yeah. Big thing. A lot of people
I
posting
think
about it.
Parkinson's, right?
Billy Sheehan knew him.
Paul Gilbert. Tons of people.
Lots of people posting about him.
Incredible rock drummer. You're a fan of Mr. Big, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you have any favorite songs?
I'd have to look through the songs. The album is what's the album?
Is it Lean Into It?
I believe Paul Gilbert's on the front of it. Like,
I'm not familiar with their album art.
Shit. I mean,
Is it Lean Into It though? That might be it.
Maybe.
Does it have Green 10 to 60's Mind? That's one of my favorites. I also really love Alive and Kickin'.
Yeah, Alive and Kickin's a good one. Yeah.
So it opens with Paul Gilbert doing this just ridiculous bluesy lick, and it's totally clean, and it's just really clean. A great example of why I love Paul Gilbert is that right there.
Technician right there, man.
Yeah, but you know, some people argue like you can't play fast with feel. First of all, totally disagree.
Right.
That's a different topic. But that dude can play with more feel than anyone.
Yeah.
You see him grind into a bend, and it's just like, dude.
Who's to say what each artist feels?
Yeah.
You know?
And who's to say, like, Andy James said it really great. He said, he had a whole thing on it. He was like, you know, if you play fast, you're not playing emotion. He's like, I disagree. Why can't anger be an emotion?
Right.
Why can't aggression be an emotion? Like, I want to express these things in my playing, and I do it. And Andy James, first of all, he can shred. Yeah. Second of all, ridiculously expressive. He's got really good phrasing and just melody. It's just, he's a brilliant guitar player.
Yeah.
And he can play faster than any of them. So it's like, I mean, come on, guys. Like, in my experience, most of the people that say you're not playing with emotion are people that can't or have no experience with playing fast.
Right.
Because when you play fast, it's fucking fun, for one.
Sure. Sure. Absolutely.
People turn their heads and they're like, whoa.
Yeah, it gets you all hyped up. You feel good about it and stuff like that. But you know what? If you don't play well when you play fast, it doesn't, work. And maybe people just aren't, maybe they're, I don't know.
Maybe I give them the benefit about saying they're seeing the wannabes, but
right.
See,
you never
then
know.
I see videos of Paul Gilbert doing amazing stuff, and they're shitting all over that.
Yeah, YouTube comments. You can't go off.
You can't win.
Yeah,
that's a good point. A lot of artists take the policy of just not reading them at all.
Right. Yeah, it's probably a good policy because there's no face behind those people. Everybody, on there just.
And a lot of times, and this is surprising, but a lot of times the people genuinely like you.
Yeah.
They're just trolling you.
Sure.
They just want you to reply and be like,
or they had a bad day and they got some, some stuff to get off their chest and they're
like, oh, this guy's playing without feel. It's like, dude, that's Paul Gilbert, dude.
Yeah.
What? Like,
yeah. I mean, and maybe it doesn't relate. Maybe it doesn't relate across YouTube. You know what I mean? Like you're listening to it on your your iPhone. Don't tell me he's playing with no feel when you're listening to it on your iPhone.
Exactly.
So, go see a band live and tell me he's not playing with feel.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any other things to say about Pat Torpey?
No, just that we lose them every day. It's a sad thing, but every time, it's like it feels like what we were talking about earlier, that it's it's always, people are always coming and going. It's crazy. It's hard to hold on to. I don't know where I'm going with that.
That was deep. That was really deep. I like it. It brings us back to what we were saying earlier. It's like we're gonna be in a world soon.
Yeah, man.
Where these people don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
That's a heavy thought.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of this one.
It's so heavy we have to laugh. All right. Axel DC.
Yeah. Love it.
I maybe a disclaimer for you guys. We both love Guns N' Roses a lot, so we're probably going to talk about Guns N' Roses a lot.
We'll get it off our chest in this first episode. We'll try to lay back after that.
Yeah. Every episode from here on out will be strictly Guns N' Roses. So get used to that. Axel DC. For those of you that don't know, that's kind of what they're calling AC/DC fronted by Axl Rose. So have you heard it?
Oh, I've watched every YouTube there is, every fan footage there is of the show that we missed that came real close, and I don't know how I dropped the ball on that one, but I missed it. And
dang,
yeah. So I've watched.
Well, music news.
Yeah,
they are continuing. Angus Young says he wants to continue with Axl Rose. What does that mean? That means a new album.
Yeah. That
means a new touring cycle.
That's great. I mean, if that's how far they're talking.
Touring.
Yeah. Well,
I had a whole argument with, there was like 24 people of how to pronounce the word tour.
Yeah.
They all said tour, right?
Yeah.
Which most people say.
A lot of people say
incorrect.
Yeah.
And then they said I was saying it tour. I was like, no, I'm saying the word two, like the number, and then tour.
Yeah.
So we looked it up on the Webster thing. It was 23 on one. And we looked it up and the guy goes, tour. And I was like, fucking boom.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
Anyway, we're talking about music. The word tour is going to come up, and that's how I'm going to say it. So
I'm with you on that tour.
I wanted to be that clear. Axel DC. Here's how good it was. People wanted to hate it.
Yeah.
And couldn't.
Yeah. there were still haters. There's haters for everything, and you know what I mean. Like he's not Brian Johnson,
but there were so many comments that were like, "I gotta hand it to him. Like that's pretty good."
Yes, that's what you love seeing. You love seeing somebody who knows.
People wanted to shit all over him, and could not.
Yeah.
Saying he's not Brian Johnson, saying he's not Bon Scott is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, no shit. Like, Angus Young needed help, and Axl was like, I will help.
Yeah.
That's how that worked.
Yeah.
It's not like he was like, I want to be the fucking singer. No, that's not how that worked at all.
Not at all.
He stepped up and did something very un-Axl Rose.
Just did it out of the bottom of his heart, I assume, and I think he loved it.
Was a complete pro about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
he
broke
rehearsed,
his leg.
he sound-checked, he was never late. He broke his foot, I think. He broke his foot, and he still did the whole thing. Like, unbelievable. Yeah. And he sounded great.
I think he sounded amazing. I love his voice. I love his attitude. And I heard it all through AC/DC. And I'll tell you that when I heard an old recording of a live show where Axl in early Guns N' Roses did Whole Lotta Rosie and just kicked the shit out of it. Like, I loved it. I loved Slash playing the riff, and I loved Axl just belting it out. And in the very beginning, he said, I think it was the Melody Maker that called us a weak AC/DC. And he goes, I'm no Bon Scott, but I think that's a whole lot of Slash. And then Slash comes in with the riff, and it was awesome.
That's awesome.
So when they announced that Axl was going to do it, of course. And then when they announced that Axl was going to do the AC/DC tour, finish it up for him, I was like, that's perfect. And somehow I missed the show.
I don't know if this has been confirmed, or at least I don't know. Brian Johnson was totally fine with all that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had a little hard feelings at first when they kicked him out, but I think he was fine with Axl stepping in.
Did they kick him out, though?
I think so. I think he wouldn't quit.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was just an honor thing. Like, I don't think he was going to be the guy to walk away from it. I think he had to make them.
But he could not. So I think what it came down to was, hey, we want to tour. You cannot tour.
Right.
Do you understand that?
I
you know what that means?
Worried about him blowing his ears out and going completely deaf, so they had to tell him, no, you're not doing this. And he does other things like race cars and stuff like that has definitely been detrimental to his ears. It's not just rock and roll. Right. And I bet actually the rock and roll is the least of his
Well, if you're using
problems.
in-ears,
right. That's what I mean. Is I think he's at the level they were performing at.
You can play it, airplane engine volumes, and the musicians on stage are very, very quiet. Right. They're wearing the in-ear monitors, which mold to your ears, so you don't hear anything outside of them. Totally and what's isolated. Inside of them is a normal volume like you would listen to on your headphones.
Yep, completely isolated. And that's why I feel like he probably didn't hurt his hearing in music. I think he hurt his hearing in racing, and I know he does other kind of stuff too. I mean, you hear it all the time for people in the military. Guns ruin their hearing and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of things out there, it's just sad that we had to lose such a great front man for AC/DC. Right.
But to think that Axl is like shouldering his way into this band to saying fuck Brian Johnson, like couldn't be further from the truth.
I think he's always been a huge fan and was honored to help if he could. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I can't say, but I would hope that he didn't. Well, who knows? He deserves every penny he got.
Yeah.
Hopefully he didn't screw him over too bad. Axl's a big name.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. That leads me into, could we be looking at new GNR music?
I've heard rumors, but I don't know. Nothing super confirmed. I don't think there's stuff about Slash being in the studio with the band or whatever, but I don't think anything's confirmed yet. I think it might be a long shot, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know. Because especially if Axl's stepping away now to do AC/DC some more.
This is kind of a removed source, but I do a lot of work for Bruce McKagan, as you know, whose brother is Duff McKagan.
Yep.
The bassist for GNR. And Bruce said they're writing.
Nice. That's great to hear. That's great.
I don't know what that means, but if you're a musician though, you're always writing. So
right.
What does that mean? I don't know.
Sure, whether or not any of it comes to light, that's the question. Whether we get to hear it or not is the question.
He was sending me. We went to the show. He was hanging with his brother, so he was texting me pictures.
Yeah. Do you remember a while back when that song accidentally got leaked? That Axl Rose. I forget what it was. I forget what the name of the song was now, but it was released for about 15 minutes, I think, and they pulled the plug on it. And I think it was an accidental leak, but all the music websites had it, and they were all posting it. And then I think.
What was it though?
It was a song. It was some unworked, unfinished Guns N' Roses song, man, and it was killer. It wasn't finished. You could tell it wasn't finished. And this was during the time that
were we waiting for Chinese up. Or this after?
No, this is after Chinese, but they were still not together in reunion.
Okay, so
this was some other song
that could be easily explained because they have Chinese Democracy had how many songs? 14.
Right, they had a bunch.
14. They
More
were
than they
have like
released.
80.
Right.
Like it was probably just one of those.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, great song though, man. I heard it. And
Was it called Silkworms?
Nope. I heard it.
That's one that got
and
me.
I listened to it. You know what? It might have been up for longer than 15 minutes because I think it maybe I texted my friend who's also a Guns N' Roses fan. I don't think I knew you yet, Dallas, but I texted my friend and I said, "You better check this out. I don't think it's supposed to be out, and I'm pretty sure they're going to pull it." And he was at work or whatever and texted me 30 minutes later that it was gone. It was already gone. He never got to hear it. And I was like, "Oh, it sucks for you, man."
You heard it though, right?
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it
How?
a few times. And I
How
think
did
I
you
heard
hear
it
it?
longer. Oh, the website had a
What
stream of
website?
it. Maybe Blabbermouth.
Okay.
Maybe one
So
of
how
those
did you
websites.
find that though? Did you just?
I'm always on there, man. I'm
You're
a crawler.
always on Blabbermouth?
I'm a troller.
I got you. I got you. There's Matt trolling the interwebs.
Yeah, I'm always looking for anything that
We just said looking for at the exact same time.
damn stereo looking for.
We'll pan that one section.
Nice.
New music from GNR. Okay, what about old bands doing new music? Let's compound that into old bands doing reunions because they see GNR getting $3 million a show.
Sure.
I mean, you see bands like Rat,
Sure.
which is a funny story. Supposedly, the drummer Bobby Blotzer
Yeah.
was doing a tribute. He didn't have the rights to the name, right? So he was doing a tribute.
And what is he calling it?
I think it was called Bobby Blotzer's Rat.
Okay.
And then, and then one night they're playing like the whiskey. Let's say,
Yeah.
it might have actually been the whiskey,
Right.
And he just goes like, "We're Rat tonight. We're Rat." So he just drops Bobby Blotzer's and just goes on stage as Rat. And Warren
fuck it.
DeMartini and Stephen Piercy or Percy, however you say it,
Yeah.
very unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think they may be getting back together or something like that. But then we see Dawkins did a show not too long ago
Cool. With George
Reunited.
Lynch?
Yeah,
Yeah. Cool.
I think so.
Cool.
Other bands, I mean, I just don't think there's going to be a reunion that can demand the payday that GNR has. Maybe Led Zeppelin, but
Talking about one of the greatest bands in the world that fell off the face of the planet basically once they broke up. Like it wasn't.
I think it's also so big because they were so short-lived.
Sure. Right. Exactly. I mean, people were, it was at the height of their career. Like Use Your Illusions came out, and I think they were just huge. I mean, the one song's in the Terminator movie. You Could Be Mine was in Terminator, and then just like think about that. Like I wasn't a huge into music as I am now then, but I definitely remember like hearing a lot of Guns N' Roses. And
I've
stuff.
never seen any of the Terminators.
Okay. But I mean, even on the radio, I mean, I think I still hear every once in a while on a good radio station, You Could Be Mine comes on.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
great
And
song.
you always hear Walk to the Jungle, Sweet
Yeah.
Shot of Mine,
Yeah.
Paradise City.
If Use Your Illusions, I read another great article about Use Your Illusions. If it had been consolidated into one album, it might have been a different thing. I think that 2 albums is overwhelming for the fan, for the casual listener, maybe.
I don't know about that because it's still such a huge thing,
Sure. And I
And
feel
there's
like-
there's super hits off of
Right.
each one.
Right.
You have Knocking on Heaven's Door, and then you have
Right. But I mean,
Cry.
as far as consolidating it, I mean, I don't know what you take out, but you have to compromise.
You would take out Right Next Door to Hell. You would take out
take
Perfect
out
Crime. You
stuff
would take
that's
out all
not
those.
the hits, right? And you could
Right.
maybe come up with another Appetite, man, or
Sure.
something.
And then
to
they
it.
actually do sell one like that. Have you seen that one?
No, I mean, there's a playlist online. This might be what I was talking about. The article that I read was talking about if it had been one album, this might have been what it was, and they had a
gotcha.
playlist, and I downloaded the playlist.
I'll do you one better. My childhood best friend Ashton had the Use Your Illusion album. He had one.
Yeah.
And it was a combined 1 and 2. And the album cover, you know how one's blue, one's
Yeah.
red. It was each one, but it was like slit, like
Down the
triangular, like you would cut a sandwich, right?
right.
And one of them was blue and one of them was red. And that
Never
was the
seen
cover.
that one before, huh? Cool.
I don't know how he had it or where he had it or
Interesting.
If
And what
you
was
opened
on
it up
that
and it
one? Do you
had
remember?
both discs, I don't know, but it was
Okay.
it was combined.
Okay.
And I seem to remember it being one disc. I don't remember what that was, but I could be making a lot of that up.
Interesting.
Any other old bands that are doing reunions or releasing new music?
Right.
Because Warrant came out with a new album and it's like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
like it's not that good.
yeah.
You know, like a lot of those bands come out with
I've
new
not
music and
listened
it's
to
like,
it myself. I've
this
not
is
listened to
good,
it myself. I'll
you
have to
know?
take your word for it. The fact that I haven't heard about it usually is because I look for it, So if
That's a
if something's
good
good,
sign. This would have been
usually-
like 2010,
okay. No, I don't know then. But
something like that. I could be wrong on that.
the
date.
Misfits just got back together, the original Misfits,
Yep.
and did a reunion, and they tried to do the cell phone case
Locking
where
the zip like that,
locking
yeah.
them. That did not work for them.
No? Why?
The next day, before the next day, it was like right after the show. Every bit of the show was online. everybody ripped their phones out of their boxes or somehow snuck their phone in another phone or something. There was more than enough footage for anybody who didn't get to see it.
Comedians are doing it a lot, but artists should too. They should be doing that as well.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle's doing it.
Rogan's doing it.
Rogan's doing it.
Yeah. Burr, I think, is going to do it.
I totally get it.
The thing is, it's supposedly a decent expense to the artist to make that happen.
Sure. And then to the next day, imagine being the Misfits, and to the next day you come, and it's all out everywhere anyways, and you paid all that money to, took your own money to put
and
to
these,
make sure
these are people that are your quote fans, complete disrespect to the person you're looking up to.
That's just the way it is. People are going to do what they want to do, and the Misfits, was a great band. And the fact that there's so much getting back together, that kind of thing, I think it was too much for people. I mean, you don't see them ripping out their cell phones out of the boxes at Joe Rogan's shows or Dave Chappelle's shows. I think it was just that kind of thing. Maybe it's too much to bottle.
Also,
in.
A Misfits fan is probably very different than a Joe Rogan fan.
Exactly. Yeah. So
they're the people that are ripping things open anyway.
Yeah, it might work some places, it might not work others, but generally the thing is that they're just trying to make the show better for you. They're literally just trying to make sure you stay focused. Like don't look at your phone. Your phone. I mean, you didn't drive all the way to the venue to see the show through your 4-inch screen.
We went to the GNR show separately, but we did go.
Yeah.
I think I took one picture and one video, and both of which were like the first one or two songs.
Yeah.
Like the first song, I took a picture. The second song, I took a short little video. They played Brownstone. I took a video of the solo. That was it.
Yeah.
That's all I took that entire show.
From my vantage point.
I don't even have those anymore. But I have the memories, and that's what's important because I wasn't looking through my phone.
Right.
I'm not going to go watch that stuff again, maybe, but it's not going to be good. It's overmodulated audio. It's poor quality with some dude's head. It's like, that's not what I experienced.
Screaming right next to you. Yeah, exactly. I like to take my phone out and snap some pics and real quick, whatever. And you could tell that the artist kind of appreciates that more than just standing there with your phone in your hand. I mean, they see you. They see you standing there with your phone in your face the whole time.
Absolutely.
What do you think they want to look at? They want to look at a bunch of people's phones, So it's an energy thing.
Honestly, I think it comes down to a respect thing. But most people can't, I guess, can't or don't fathom what it's like to be on that stage, right? No. I mean, the normal person, like we've both been on stage, we know how that is.
Sure.
The normal person has no idea what that is like.
Right.
And what you might expect from an audience. They just thinking like, I got to capture this. They're not doing it as a form of disrespect, but it is kind of disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not here to see the show. I'm just here to fucking get likes on my Instagram post. It's going to be so dope. Like, look where I am. Like, it's all about me. Yeah. It's not about a communicative experience.
Yeah. But in the same sense, you also understand that the person that's going to the show is super excited. This is their time to get to see this band.
Right.
So there's that, and it's hard for anybody. I mean, definitely before there were cell phones, it was easier for somebody to go to a show and not feel distracted and they can actually enjoy the show.
Sure. We'll see how that all pans out in the future.
That's the way it always works itself out.
All right, Matt, you know what time it is. That's right. This week, what do we have, Mr. Tyler?
Oh, yeah. We got Van Halen 1. This year's its 40th anniversary. Hard to believe such an iconic album now is 40 years old.
Such an iconic shit album. I'm just kidding.
Don't do that.
Matt just told me he doesn't friend me on Facebook, and I said, joke's on you. I'm not on Facebook.
I don't take kindly to people who talk shit about my music.
Side note, highly recommend you deactivate your Facebook. Not you, the general you, whoever's listening. Dude, deactivate your Facebook for a week. It's freeing. I deactivated mine back in like September or August.
Yeah.
And after I got over the initial shock of the habit of going in and clicking the app and scrolling,
sure.
that was a habit.
Yeah,
that was not something I enjoyed doing or needed to do. That was a habit. Like I buy my nails, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If once I got over the habit, I don't miss it at all. And I have a lot of time now that I would spend doing that I'm doing other things.
Sure. They say a lot of things about that. The phone, the screen is just too
and you can use
much.
it for good, in the business we're in, like you gotta have it. You gotta use it.
It's too much for the person to resist. Exactly. A person cannot resist it.
So that's why I had to delete it entirely. Not only delete the app, because then I would just go on Chrome and do it.
Right.
I had to deactivate my entire account, dude.
Well, there you go.
And honestly, I don't miss it. Give it a try out there. All right, back to our weekly album review. Van Halen 1, 40 years old. Is it today?
It is today.
The day we are recording this, which is not the day we're releasing this. The day we're recording this is the 40th anniversary. So if you want to go look up the day we recorded this, you can now do that.
Exactly.
Let's hear your thoughts, Matt, because you know this album way better than I do. Here I am holding the vinyl, which we are in a very mood-lit room right now, and I can't read a goddamn thing.
So I know the track list.
I can read produced by Ted Templeman, dude. What a boss.
Yeah. I mean, what a great, found out by Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons.
Van Halen. Okay, did I tell you I tweeted at Gene Simmons?
Maybe. I don't know.
I said it again. I said, yo, Gene, do you ever help unsigned bands?
Oh, okay.
And my next thought was going to be,
I look up Van Halen. You did tell me this.
And he was like, yeah, have you ever heard of Van Halen?
Right,
tweeted back at me, dude. I actually have a pretty good track record of uber famous people tweeting me back.
That's great. There's some speculation or some hearsay on that. Paul Stanley says he found Van Halen first and was going to tell Gene and couldn't find him and had to bring him into the room to listen to Van Halen, and that's when he decided he was going to sign him. But Gene Simmons still gets credit on pretty much everywhere you look. He gets the credit. So maybe he's just the most outspoken about it.
I will say this is probably the dopest album cover they have.
Very killer. The painted on abs of David Lee Roth is my favorite, actually, because it's old school. There wasn't Photoshop yet. This is 1978. There's little brush strokes of light reflecting off of David Lee Roth's stomach. I'm pretty sure they are not real abs. I mean, he was a fit guy. I don't know if he was ripped like that.
Michael Anthony, and then poor Alex. You can't even make out his face. He looks like a ghost from Insidious or something.
Yeah. The Eddie picture's cool.
The Eddie picture is phenomenal. That's the best one.
Type,
and the guitar is the classic black and white, which I like better than the red.
Yep.
All right, let's see.
So the first track is Running with the Devil.
He's always credited as Edward Van Halen, which I like.
Yeah. I mean, it's his real name. What?
This is listed in a different track order.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes records are like that. I don't know why they do that, but on vinyl.
So, I mean, when I looked at the album earlier on my mediums, Running with the Devil was first.
Yeah.
Right. This one has You Really Got Me first.
It's not really that first.
Right.
They're just in a weird order on that cover. I don't know why.
List them whatever the fuck they want.
I do not know why they did that, but it's definitely Running with the Devil first.
Right here at the top, our special thanks, Gene Simmons, number 1.
No shit. There you go. There's the credit. So the opening bass line, you have the train kind of sound coming in. The opening bass line, classic.
Dun, dun, dun. Done, just droning.
And then you got Eddie Van Halen hits the top strings on the Fender Strat, and that's how he gets that sound.
Down, such a great riff.
Yeah,
and how has he been
Running with the Devil? Just anthem for people who like to rock out and party. It's a great song.
It is a great one. I love it.
And then you go right into.
I'll be the first to say I don't.
Be careful.
I prefer Van Hagar. I do.
All right. Well, I have every DLR record with Van Halen, and I have none. Oh, actually, I have 5150, so I do have.
Well, here's my thing. Like, I'm listening to all of the songs on Van Halen 1 today, and by the way, I love to play devil's advocate, so get used to that.
Okay.
I just like he's an okay singer. He's fine.
DLR.
He's a much better frontman than he is a singer.
He's a character.
If he's 100% frontman, he's 40% singer. He is not that fucking good.
He's a character.
He's hitting sour notes. He's going all the fucking time, and it's annoying as shit. and then you go over to the Sammy Hagar stuff, and Sammy's a singer, dude.
Yeah,
that dude can belt. That dude can sing.
More controlled style, whereas I feel like David Lee Roth was just letting it roll off the cuff.
I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm saying this is what I've observed. These are my opinions, and this is what I think.
Yeah, and that is literally you're observing that with your ears only. And there's a
to
DLR.
Me, what
there's
sounds
an element
better
to
me.
Yeah.
Is the Van Hagar stuff. Now, a lot of people say...
not to me, though.
A lot of people say Sammy Hagar's a better singer, which I think is almost... You can't dispute that. Like...
I could dispute it. I'll do my best.
You can't dispute who's a better singer. If you just had them singing on not Van Halen stuff,
right,
you would be like, that guy's a better singer.
Yeah, you can listen to Sammy's solo stuff. I mean, you can listen to DLR solo stuff. I mean, like, you could definitely make it without Van Halen. You could take the Van Halen element out of it.
And they did.
And from what I understand, I think 5150 was written before Sammy Hagar sang over it.
Right.
So I think David Lee Roth already had his own stuff worked out to that, just never reached the daylight.
That would be very interesting to
I
hear.
would love to hear it. I would love for them to, like, they kind of used on the new album
to me, what I like the songs better.
Yeah.
With with Van Hagar, and I just like Sammy Hagar.
And then he added his songwriting element into that because he was the guitar player too.
He did play a little guitar,
right? Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if he played all the time, but he did.
No,
play
right. It wasn't all the time, but he definitely helped write the songs. You can hear his element in it.
Yeah, that's a very unpopular opinion I have amongst Van Halen fans. Because everyone's like, "Fucking Dave Lee Roth."
I mean,
I'm like, well,
yeah. Satchel says that he is a diehard like DL. I mean, I think he likes the Sammy stuff, but he says he's a purist, and he says,
and to me that comes back to the digital analog thing. It's like, well, this guy was first,
sure.
This guy's not first.
But in this situation, it's
nobody ever brings up the third guy, right? Wasn't there a third singer on Van Halen 3?
Jerry Sharon, right?
Yeah, nobody even knows that guy.
Yeah, so, but I think that what was I say? The analog versus digital is a different thing because ultimately they sound very similar.
Right.
Whereas David Lee Roth versus Sammy Hagar,
very different.
it's a very they're very two different worlds. They almost shouldn't have called it Van Halen, and I hate that they came out with Van Halen 3 with Sammy Hagar. Instead of, because they went to Van Halen 1, Van Halen 2, when they chose them first.
Van Halen 3 was the other dude, wasn't it?
It might have been, actually, might have been. No, the AOU 812. Oh, man, I don't know.
Damn.
Sorry. Yeah.
Damn.
See, that's not my forte. I'm a DLR. I'm the DLR Van Halen guy for sure. I listened to the Sammy stuff, but definitely would say that I think they were their most raw and epicness with David Lee Roth, and I think David Lee Roth just has this character that I attach to. That's all.
Sure. I've also never been way into Van Halen.
Right.
So when I did get into it, it wasn't like, oh, this is Van Halen. It was like, okay, these are songs that I'm listening to, and I like these better.
Sure, you didn't understand that. You didn't understand the.
I didn't come from any sort of attachment.
Right. It wasn't.
I was coming purely from a musical standpoint.
Sure, which is good because
which is cool. Which is why I think my argument over who's technically a better singer holds a little more weight because I have no bias.
Sure. And but you do have your own bias, just your own opinion, right?
Yeah, so what I like, absolutely.
But you can look at it in a technical standpoint and probably see Sammy.
And that's what I'm saying, purely from a technical standpoint.
Technical singer.
I'm not talking about what he makes you feel or how he does backflips on stage, whatever the fuck he did.
Right.
That guy's a nut.
He is a nut. Did you see that he was doing baton twirling and actually got too close to his face, just grazed his nose and broke his nose, cut his nose open.
I did see something about that.
Yeah,
on
stage.
Not that recent, but it was kind of recent,
was like last year.
Yeah, that's right.
But really just a wild guy. Like,
hey, just don't bring the baton on stage. Dude.
Yeah, right. Like,
it's not a place for a baton.
He loves it.
This isn't an 8th grade pageant.
He does what he wants. He's David Lee Roth, man. He's got.
All right, so we got Running with the Devil. What's next?
So next is obviously Eruption.
All right,
we come into, which is awesome.
We can't even.
I mean, I don't think anybody needs to explain what Eruption is, but it is.
Eruption does go seamlessly into.
You really got me, which is a Kinks cover.
To me, either one of those is fine, but that transition I love.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Because it's style.
Like on that metal show, they actually were talking about best solo or something like that. And one guy put Eruption, and the guy was like, "Well, that's not really a solo. That's an intro." And everybody was thinking about it. I was like, "Really?"
Was that Trunk?
It wasn't Trunk. It was
Jameson or Florentine.
It was one of those two. I can't remember which one, but they were arguing the aspect that it was an intro. I don't think so. Like I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a solo, and then it just led really well into "You Really Got Me." Yeah.
And they probably wrote it that way.
And it's the same tone. He didn't change his guitar tone. He says that he recorded that whole record with one tone, with his amp all the way up, his Marshall, stock Marshall, all the way up through his Variac. I mean, that's how he got that tone, and he stuck with it the whole time. And I'm sure there were areas where, he turned it down and stuff like that, or, to get a little bit of cleaner.
He was a phenomenal guitar player, but he was an even better innovator.
Right, absolutely.
He did so many groundbreaking things. The Super Strat, Ibanez, Jackson, all those things exist because
launched
of
the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, just crazy. I mean, to think about how influential he was he's probably on another level. I think, almost every best guitar player polls, he just ends up at the top.
Sure.
It's crazy. And he's in 1978 was when he made his name.
I'm over the whole Eruption thing.
Yeah. Well,
to me, that's like a very casual music fan's favorite guitar solo.
Sure.
It's like if you dig into music at all, like you're past Eruption. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
it's great and we can enjoy it for what it is, but it's not coming up on any of my greatest solo lists. Right. All right. What do we got after Eruption? You Really Got Me.
After that is it Jamie's Crying, I believe.
I honestly don't know the order, but I can list out the order on this thing.
Yeah, hang on. I had it on the...
Let's talk about Jamie's Crying, though, because you brought it up.
Okay.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, it's a great song. Really iconic riff. That...
Yeah, great riff.
Great riff. I mean, just one you can sing.
My favorite part
hum
though is
it.
the boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom,
The groove.
Oh, do. So good.
Yeah.
All right, On Fire. I mean, there's a bunch
That's
of
the
songs.
last song. So
Probably about half of these I don't know.
So actually, I was wrong. Sorry. Ain't Talking About Love.
Ain't Talking About Love, great one.
Was the one that came in. And that's iconic. I mean, you can't walk into a bar and not hear somebody cover
And
that
that's the
song.
whole famous flanger sound, right?
Yeah. I think
Or
you're
phaser, sorry.
Yeah. So,
So you get the EVH 5150 phase 90,
I think it might be flanger and phaser, or
and then you set it
might
to
have been right at the
9
beginning.
o'clock, and you
Yeah.
have that sound. I did a whole tutorial on that one
Okay,
time.
cool. Okay, I'm gonna take.
I'm
your
the
word for it.
one.
Yeah, killer.
All right, so let me run down.
the riff.
I'm familiar with the hits. I am not familiar with I'm the One.
Oh my god.
I'm less familiar with Atomic Punk. I'm not familiar with Feel Your Love Tonight. I'm not familiar with Little Dreamer. I'm not familiar with On Fire.
How much can we get away with playing without getting pulled?
Oh, we can play whatever we want.
Can we play a little bit of I'm the One just in the very beginning, the first half of that riff?
Absolutely.
It's so iconic. I love the way this sounds. Check this out. That right there, that
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
great.
it.
And you can really hear how much Satchel is influenced by.
Yes.
Van Halen.
Oh, I immediately recognize that about Steel Panther, and it's not just Satchel; it's Michael Starr. They were in.
Oh, yeah, well,
they were in the Van
Atomic
Halen.
Punks,
Yeah,
absolutely.
the Atomic Punks, right? So,
What else do we have after I'm the One? We had Atomic Punk.
where did it go? I just had it on here. Damn it.
We lost it.
There we go. All right. So after I'm the One is Jamie's Crying, which is I mistakenly put it fourth, but now it's Atomic Punk. Everybody knows Jamie's Crying, and we already hummed the riff.
I think I said Janie's Crying because I kept thinking of Janie's Got a Gun.
Yeah,
so if
right.
I
The
fucked that up
Aerosmith
earlier
song.
when I said it. That was
Yeah,
my
it's
bad.
Jamie's Crying.
I do know it's Jamie's Crying.
Yeah,
so
but it's one of those ones.
I may have misspoke. Atomic Punk.
Atomic Punk's cool. It makes
Not very
me
familiar with it.
It makes me feel like a young kid, like being like going to the city and like just feeling like a hoodlum kind of, and just like has that vibe. I mean, the whole record kind of has that vibe to me. I always felt that Atomic Punk and On Fire were very similar, like in that sense that they have a good energy and make me feel like young and wild kind of. So I still feel that to this day. And I'm I was born in '89. The record came out in '78.
Nice.
Think about like how long that's going to last on people. Like there's a lot of people that are still going to hear that and feel that way.
Absolutely.
It's just amazing. It'll live
What
forever.
about the last couple here?
Feel Your Love Tonight? Great one. I can't wait to feel your love tonight. Some cool acapella parts.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. I think
Classic
it ends
Michael
acapella.
Anthony harmonies and
It
stuff.
ends acapella, so it's like that just vocals. Little Dreamer, really cool song.
No comments.
Really
I don't
cool
really
song.
know.
I like that. It's
I listened to them all today once. But
about that starry-eyed kid, Little Dreamer.
the one that stuck out to me that I didn't know was I'm the One.
Yeah. It's a great
which,
song. You
which
need
is
to
which is great riffs. Ice Cream Man, love that song.
love it.
We used to play
that's
that one. of my
David
old
Lee
bands.
Roth playing the acoustic guitar in the beginning of that,
okay,
and
cool.
and that's when I think there's an interview where Eddie says that David Lee Roth is an underrated guitar player. He's really cool, like
There you
good
go.
songwriting guitar player.
Because
So.
you never think about that. I didn't even know he played guitar.
Yeah, he
So,
plays that in the and when I saw him live, I saw him front row live in Raleigh and then in Charlotte, maybe I don't know where I was in that one, but a little farther back. And David Lee Roth comes out, plays the intro of Ice Cream Man,
That's
and then
awesome.
they come in. It's like, "Come on, boys!" And they all come
Everybody
in. Right?
comes in, yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
And then On Fire. I mean, just On Fire, and that's how they end the record. And that's a hell of a way to end a record to make it a point.
Iconic record. We're not gonna rate it. I feel like that's gay.
I would rate it a 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. I'll take it 11 out of 10.
I'll rate it a 6 out of 10.
God, let's get out of my sight.
I'm kidding. It's great stuff. We love
great,
it.
of course.
But it's time for a new segment that we call
Solo of the Week.
Folks, we were talking earlier about how rock music is not dead. And if you don't agree, then you have not heard the Winery Dogs. Now, this kind of breaks our rule because it's a supergroup, right? That doesn't really count. It's a new band, sure, but they're all famous dudes.
It's a super awesome group.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we have Empire by the Winery Dogs. I'm going to let you guys hear the solo, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. It's just fantastic. Richie Kotzen, can't say enough about him. Let's check it out. It's a decently long solo, but it's incredible.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's the ending, the last minute, almost 2 minutes of Empire off of their second album, Hot Streak. Okay, I can't say enough about this solo. It's one of my favorites. First of all, I've kind of become something of a Richie Kotzen scholar since I heard of this band, because I was a huge Dream Theater fan when this band came out. So anything Mike Portnoy did, I was on top of.
I always loved Mark Portnoy.
Also loved Billy Sheehan, have for a really long time.
Yeah.
He was the bass player for Mr. Big. For those of you that don't know, tie back into our Pat Torpy talk from earlier.
Yep.
And Paul Gilbert, and just one of the best bass players there is.
Yeah.
So he's the bass player. Then Richie Kotzen, this guy I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
Who's Richie Kotzen? What?
Yeah.
Least famous guy of this.
So you didn't know of Richie Kotzen at all?
I didn't know of him at all. The dude has, and this is what I discovered. I've known this for a while now. He has a ton of solo albums. They're all incredible.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant songwriter.
Yeah.
First of all, he's an insane guitar player. He has 2 albums from the 80s with Greg Howe.
Yeah.
Greg Howe and Richie Kotzen, they did 2 albums together. Yeah. Greg Howe is one of the best guitar players of all time. If you're on an album with Greg Howe, you can play guitar.
Absolutely.
And then beyond that, Richie Kotzen's one of the best singers I've ever heard. And then he's an incredible piano player.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's hard to quantify his talent because he's so
insane.
good in everything. Like his voice is amazing.
His thing is just unbridled creativity. Yeah. He doesn't play with a pick.
Right.
He used to, but he threw it away because he felt that he had gotten trapped.
Yeah.
He got his Fender amp and his Fender Tele because those are the blankest slates he could find to express himself, right? So these are the things you're hearing in this. One of the main things I love about this solo, and it struck me as soon as I heard it, you can hear the room. Yeah. It sounds like the mic is not right up on the amp. You can hear the room it's in. Yeah. You can hear his fingers on the strings, both the left and the right hand. You can hear the fingers plucking, which is really cool. And then also, it feels very, very live.
Yeah.
It feels like they were like, Richie, just jam, let's rip it. And that was the first take. And I don't know if that's true, but that's what it feels like.
I was going to say, it feels like the first take. It just feels like you ripped it
It has
off.
that magic, because it's got some mistakes. It's got some off notes. It's got some stuff, but that gives it that. It's amazing.
It does. It has a very energetic feel, and it feels like you don't know what's going to happen next, but like it's going to be good, whatever it's going to be.
And it's got classic Richie Kotzen starting out in major, and then he goes off into some Greg Howe out licks, like, playing 9s and 13s
really cool.
and stuff.
Yeah,
and
really cool.
A lot of chromaticism, a lot of cool stuff in there. Richie Kotzen,
fast,
underrated overall, dude.
Yeah, they're right there, fast and feel right there. I mean, how much feel is in those phrasing, and I mean, they're fast, but like you feel every bit of it.
Absolutely, man. Anything else to say about the amazing Richie Kotzen?
Go buy his albums, all of them. They're great. He's a great ballad artist. There's a lot of them too. He's not just a straight rock guy.
One of my favorite songs of all time. This is how good it is. When I listened to the Winery Dogs first album, I got all the way through it and I was like, this is awesome. And then the last track, Regret.
Yeah, my favorite.
Listened to it and I was just like, that is one of the best songs I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I won't even say my favorite. I will say best.
Yeah.
Like the writing is flawless. The lyrics, there's not a word you would change. Yeah. The melodies are incredible.
Yeah. And I believe that's 100% Richie Kotzen. I think he probably, I wrote that song as a single. Or
well, the story is that when they were writing it, Richie, I think Portnoy told this on an interview.
Okay.
Richie came in and was like, I have this. And he played them the piano version, which you can find on one of his solo greatest hits compilations.
That's the one I'm
And Billy Sheehan and Mike Portnoy were like, don't change that at all. We're doing that exactly like that.
That's awesome.
And that's how it made the album. Super unfortunate that they didn't make that a second single or something. Like nobody knows that song.
Right. Because
they close all their shows with it, or at least play it at the very, very end.
Yeah.
That's how powerful it is.
That's an amazing song. It's everything you want in a good...
I will say that song loses a lot of its power live, though.
Yeah.
Because they can't do all those backing vocals.
It's only 3 of them.
Yeah. And you don't have the keys and the guitar.
Right.
So it loses something live. I've never heard a live version that lives up to the record version. They always play it a little too fast, I think.
Sure.
But, that's neither here nor there. Incredible song, incredible
song. So back to the song we were talking about, it's Empire, and that solo is amazing.
Yes, and that's not off the first album. That's off the second album.
Right. So there's a band that's coming out with a second album, and it's, doing this music scene that we're in right now, and they're still kicking ass. So,
folks, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Musicians Talk Show. I would encourage you all to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. That's really going to help us stay up in the rankings and allow us to bring more content to you guys, which we absolutely love doing. If you have anything you'd like us to know, any album you'd like us to review, a cool solo you've heard you want us to say, some music news, some music news segment you want to get our take on, want to just say, hey, I think you're stupid, that's cool too. Email us at musicianstalkshow@gmail.com. Hit us up on Instagram at musicianstalkshow. Matt, take us home, buddy.
Yeah. I don't know what you want to say.
Sweet. Hey guys! First of all, thank you so much for listening. If you could please take a quick moment to subscribe on iTunes and leave a rating and review. Your feedback seriously is really important and it helps us keep the show alive.
Check out musicianstalkshow.com to sign up for our mailing list. If you do, we're going to send you our main theme song and a few other surprises. Plus, you'll always be the first to know what episodes are coming up.
If you want to help support the show so we can keep putting out the highest quality content possible, please follow the Support the Show link at our website and consider donating to our Patreon page.
Lastly, if you have an idea for a guest or a question you want to discuss, contact us through any of the contact forms on our website, and we'll do everything we can to make it happen.
Whew, all right. That was a lot, but we got through it. Thanks again, guys, and we will see you soon.